The war never left him. No matter how many years passed, no matter how many miles stood between him and the desert, Staff Sergeant Marcus Hayes was still there, in the sand, in the heat, in the chaos. He sat on his front porch, staring out at the quiet suburban street, but all he could see were empty roads laced with IEDs. Every parked car a potential trap, every passing pedestrian a threat. His wife Angela watched him from the window, whispering to their teenage son, Jason. "Just give him time," she said. "He'll come around." But deep down, she wasn't so sure. At first, Marcus tried. He went through the motions: morning coffee, small talk with the neighbors, helping Jason with his homework. But his hands shook when he held the coffee mug. His mind drifted during conversations, and the sight of Jason's math book triggered flashbacks of counting supplies, checking coordinates, double-checking that nothing had been missed. Angela suggested therapy, but Marcus brushed it off. "I don't need a shrink," he said, forcing a smile. "I just need to stay busy." So he built a routine. He patrolled the house at night, checking the locks twice, sometimes 3 times. He cleared every room, making sure the windows were secure, that no one had slipped inside unnoticed. Angela begged him to stop. "You're not on base anymore, Marcus." But the war was inside him now, and there was no leaving it behind. The dreams were the worst. Sweat-drenched sheets, teeth clenched, fists gripping the edge of the mattress. He'd wake up gasping, heart pounding in his chest, the echoes of gunfire still ringing in his ears. Angela tried to wake him gently at first, whispering his name, rubbing his shoulder. But one night, he swung at her, not on purpose, not even awake, just an instinct. She stopped waking him after that. The paranoia crept in slowly. He started stacking sandbags by the living room window, convinced that it provided better cover. The lights in the house stayed off at night. "Tactical advantage," he muttered under his breath. The noises outside became enemies in his mind. The wind rustling through the trees sounded like whispers in a foreign language. The thud of a passing garbage truck was an incoming mortar round. "Marcus, please!" Angela pleaded one evening, standing in the doorway as he scanned the perimeter of their backyard with a flashlight. "You're scaring Jason." "I'm keeping us safe," he snapped, his eyes never leaving the darkness. Jason started spending more nights at friends' houses. Angela found excuses to stay out late. Marcus barely noticed. He reinforced the front door, installed cameras at every angle, checked them obsessively, and kept a rifle within arm's reach at all times. His mind was turning the house into a bunker, and he didn't even realize it. The breaking point came one rainy night. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows, making the house groan. Marcus sat in the living room, his rifle across his lap, staring at the security monitor. The rain distorted the footage, but in his mind, he saw movement, a shadow slipping between the trees, a flash of light. They're here. Heart hammering, he leapt to his feet, barricading the doors with furniture, dragging the couch across the entrance, stacking chairs, muttering commands under his breath. "Angela, get down!" he shouted, his voice hoarse with panic. She ran downstairs, eyes wide with fear. "Marcus, what's happening?" "They found us," he whispered, his face pale and drenched in sweat. "We have to hold the line." Angela tried calling his sister, the VA, anyone who might talk sense into him. But he wouldn't listen. Jason stood at the top of the stairs, trembling. "Dad, please!" "Stay low!" Marcus barked, checking the windows again, pacing the house like a soldier preparing for battle. That's when Angela made the call, and within minutes the flashing red and blue lights painted the walls of their home. Marcus saw the lights and panicked. "They're coming!" he roared, shoving Angela away when she tried to calm him. The SWAT team moved in, their voices booming through a loudspeaker, but Marcus couldn't hear them. All he could hear were the screams of his unit, the explosions, the chaos. He retreated into the bedroom, huddled in the corner, whispering coordinates, calling for air support that would never come. When the SWAT team finally breached the door, they found Marcus curled up in the dark, rocking back and forth. His rifle lay forgotten beside him. His eyes were distant, locked on something they couldn't see. They tried speaking to him, but he only mumbled under his breath, repeating the same words over and over. "Hold the line, hold the line, hold the line." Angela stood outside, watching as they led him away. And deep down, she knew. She had lost him long before tonight. The hospital took him in, diagnosed him with severe PTSD and paranoia. They prescribed medications, offered therapy, said all the right things. But Marcus was already gone. His mind was still overseas, trapped in a fight that had ended years ago. Angela and Jason visited it first, but it became too painful. The man they loved was gone, and in his place was a soldier who never stopped fighting. Months later, the house stood empty, silent. Angela put it up for sale, packed her things, and moved away. Jason hardly spoke about his father anymore. But sometimes, late at night, Angela would wake up in a cold sweat, swearing she heard Marcus whispering through the walls, "Stay low, stay safe." She'd sit there, clutching her pillow, tears streaming down her face, realizing that Marcus never left the battlefield. And maybe he never would. The end.